the Masquerade Mask assignment. Let's take a trip from Detroit to Venice, Italy, about 4,500 miles apart from each other. Venice is best known for their miles and miles of canals that run through their city. These canals are trafficked with tons and tons of gondolas. They're also known for being the city of love and also their masquerade masks. These masks came around the medieval period, about the 15th century. They were used for big time ceremonies such as weddings and big balls. They were very elaborate. And probably the more elaborate, the higher status the person was. Um, so for this assignment, what you're going to need plaster paper, probably 6 longer pieces of it is probably all you're going to need. And saran wrap, scissors, and a container of water. So here I have my lovely wife for demonstration. Here I am mapping off the face. We're going to do a half mask. We're not going to cover up the nostrils and we're not going to cover up the mouth. We're going to go right around the border of the hairline. Again, we're not going to cover up the mouth. Here I have the saran wrap, and I'm placing it over where I'm going to have the plaster on the skin. I don't want skin to break out, and I don't want the plaster to get in your guys' hair, so that is the reason why we're doing that. Of course, not over the mouth, so people can breathe. Now this plaster paper, it's plaster, so when plaster gets wet, as it sets, it hardens. So once it gets wet, then it's going through its chemical process of hardening. And basically, as you smooth the plaster, you're going to see me continuously with my hands smooth it out, rather than seeing the little bits and pieces of plaster that's separated. It's kind of smearing it all together as one piece, and that's done because of the paper. So you can see I'm kind of smoothing it out with my hands, getting all that extra water off, and then that's when I am placing it on the face. Again, you can see that bottom rim of that paper. I have it right above the nostrils, coming down the cheeks, and at the top I have it just a little over the hairline. I don't need to be so careful about the hairline because of the saran wrap. You see me pushing down my fingers right there. I'm pushing down on the inner corners of the eye and the nose. Now, due to the saran wrap, the plaster paper doesn't want to perfectly match the face. So you just might have to apply a little bit of pressure there so it wants to take on the shape, and as long as you do that, it's going to take the shape and it's going to be perfectly fine. You can see me again smoothing out the plaster with my hands, so therefore again the paper's not so gritty. It becomes one piece. Now I'm doing 2 layers on this mask. After doing 2 layers on this mask, I have decided that I want you guys to do 3 layers. So that's going to take 6 pieces of plaster paper. And you can just start to see how that plaster is kind of filling in the area within the nose, the bridge of the nose. It's taking the shape and the form of the eye sockets. Now you're going to find out, you're going to see once you start going, that paper is going to want to wrinkle, the plaster paper is going to want to wrinkle on you. Just smooth it out with your hands. You know, the flatter you lay that plaster paper down, the easier it's going to be to smooth it out. Again, applying that pressure so that it takes on that true shape of the face. Now this will take probably close to a total of 20 to 30 minutes. You don't have to wait for the plaster paper to fully set, but you're definitely going to want it to be somewhat solid before you lift it off the face. Now you can see I'm kind of flicking it with my finger. I can tell it's hard. It's kind of like a shell like sound, and just pull it straight off the face. And I can see that it is hard enough to be able to take off. It doesn't need the face to set the rest of the way. Take the saran wrap off, and then this is when you'll put it by the dry rack and let it set for 24 to 48 hours before we handle it again. Now you can see that I'm starting to shape out the sides of the face. I want to try to make it as symmetrical as possible, and I also want to make my edges nice looking, so that it looks more like a mask and takes on more of the shape of the hairline. So right there, I drew a line just so that I can see where to cut, and then I just use scissors and cut it down. You're gonna feel the plastic kind of break away and soften on the edges, which is totally fine. And from here, I'm taking a pencil and I'm just lightly placing in my designs. And then from here, what I will do is I'll begin to paint it and add some other things to it so that it really pops. Glitter, sparkles, other paint effects. And that's the mask.